Hey everyone, this is Comix Villain. Welcome to a review for The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. We're going to be doing episodes 1 through 8, actually the whole season 1. So we'll be doing a review for that. Now, before we start, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep up to date on any indie comic news as well as giveaways. Speaking of, upon my 1000th YouTube subscriber, I'll be doing a giveaway for a digital copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, depending on whether we get some extra funds for this, we may upgrade that to Final Fantasy VII Remake Deluxe Edition. It comes with a few extra goodies, art book or digital art book, and an extra summon or two. So, I also have one extra addition to this for the winner, and that is Raven Monroe, the creator of Machi the Lazy Witch, has offered to do a free bust sketch for the winner as well. So thank you very much, Raven, for offering that. Definitely check out her campaign, Machi the Lazy Witch, on Indiegogo, currently in demand. So, on to the show, on to the Mandalorian review. Guys, this has been a really fun show from beginning to end. The first episode, and I will tell you this, there will be some spoilers in this video. I just have to. I would normally go mullet style with this, with no spoilers in the front or the beginning of the video, and tons of spoilers in the end. But it's just not going to do justice. I have to put my thoughts out there. So, the first episode, you get introduced to the Mandalorian, his way of doing things, and it sets us up. Pardon me. It sets us up for the rest of the season. So they're going to giving the direction for how things are going to go, hints of who's involved with the Empire and everything, and his new bounty that he has to get, which it was rather amazing to see that it was going to be like this little baby Yoda thing. Now, most of you have already watched the series, or if you guys are just hearing about this Baby Yoda stuff, because that's all you should be hearing about online is Baby Yoda. So the surprise is completely gone. There's no spoiler there. But I will say that Pedro Pascal, I had to look that up again, does such a good job in this series, man. It's cool. It's real cool. I like the style of character that he is portraying. Very calm, cool, collected. But then when he gets to a fight, he gets a little dirty. He gets a little rough. It's not like something like he's a super extreme trained warrior that will always win every single battle. No, man, he goes through some rough patches here and there, and it's not always clean, and I like that. I don't always want these fights to be a quick and easy. It's gotta be a little dirty here and there, and he does that well. The directing on this was pretty good too. If I'm not mistaken, it was. And we actually have a list that I'll go through in a bit for all the directors, but they have multiple directors with this series, and it actually makes things very interesting. The first 3 episodes, which we'll check on that, but I want to say Jon Favreau, who is pretty big in all of this. He's the one that had written this, created this. Mandalorian, it does something I really like. It gets you away from the Jedis. It gets you away from a lot of different things and barely discusses them. Barely even lets you know about the Jedis until the very end. The beginning, it was like, what the heck? Because, the first, second, and third episode are pretty big into themselves. I mean, it begins and closes a lot of things and then sort of sets the Mandalorian on a certain path. So, the first one, he gets the mark to find Baby Yoda, but he doesn't know that that's what he's looking for. Eventually, he's able to go to the planet where Baby Yoda is being kept, and he goes in. He takes out all these people for the most part, and also this robot or droid called IG-11, I believe, comes in and kind of, he helps him out, but also kind of complicates things because he's actually there to kill Baby Yoda rather than take him in. So Mandalorian has to kill him, and kind of leaves him there. But that's not the end of the story for IG-11, which I love that. Moving on, he the next episode, what are they called? Jawas. You get to see them again, and they basically tear his ship apart. Little by little, they were doing that while he was gone. And now when he comes back, like almost all the pieces are gone. He can't fly out. He's got Baby Yoda, but he can't leave this planet. So he has to go make a deal with them. But after a long fight scene, where he chased after them and actually destroyed, I think. Oh, he didn't destroy any of them, right? He just threw a few off the ship. But anyway, later on, he's able to make a deal with them, and he has to go retrieve this egg, which they call suka. But funny enough, in Tagalog, which is like Filipino, I'm not Filipino, but my family is, or my wife is. Suka actually means throw up. So my kid, when she's watching this, she knows what suka is in Tagalog. So she hears that and she just laughs. It's like they're just saying throw up, suka, suka. So kind of funny. Now they get this egg, but in order to do it, he's got to fight this alien rhinoceros thing. And at the very end, this thing was like kicking his butt. At the very end, though, Baby Yoda, actually uses the Force. He's actually a Force user, and pulls up the alien rhinoceros. And I know it has another name, but I just can't recall it right now. But he pulls him up, with the Force, and then drops him, and that gives Mandalorian or Mando enough time to actually jump in and stab the thing in a vital area, killing it immediately. Which I kind of feel like, dude, your little knife's not gonna kill that thing. I'm sorry. it just immediately died. but suspend disbelief. It was cool, and it also tired out Baby Yoda. So it's not that he's a god of the Force. No, he gets really tired when he uses a lot of himself, or uses a lot of the Force. So that was really cool. Needs a little bit of a second to actually recharge. As it goes on, the next few episodes kind of start to introduce different characters, different things, and he builds up. He gets better armor. Goes to new planets. We get new settings, and I love that. I love that we can see different stuff. Gina Carano plays an ex-Imperial, if I'm not mistaken. And correct me if I'm wrong with any of this. An ex-Imperial who's able to escape, and now she's kind of doing her own thing, but she's trying to stay low-key, not letting anyone know who she is, so she doesn't get recaptured. And she does a pretty good job. I actually like the character. There were a few moments in episode 4 that were kind of silly, where she surprised him, Mando, because he was looking for her. He's like, very suspicious. So she came out of nowhere because she saw that he was following her, and she jumped on him and hit him with her fist. No protection on her fist. Hit him on his helmet. His helmet deflects lasers and all sorts of things, and she didn't break her wrist doing that. I know. But other than that, I actually like the episode. I like that there was as much of a switch up between, what they were doing in this for the past 3 episodes. 4 was very different. I didn't like the love interest in it, but that's just because it didn't make sense. It just felt very forced and rushed and unnecessary. And Mando stuck to his ways. It's almost like he was tempted at first. Give up your past life. And he's like, no. In my opinion, it's because he had a lot of trauma as a kid, and maybe he's trying to set out to do the right thing. Maybe he owes it to the Mandalorians, which, by the way, he was picked up. He was rescued by the Mandalorians under this attack by droids and stuff. They were destroying his home, and his parents kind of rescued him. And and we think they died, and then the Mandalorians come in and shoot all the droids up and save the boy, and he's what is referred to as a foundling, someone that they've found and raised in the Mandalorian way. Mandalorian is like a religion or like a creed, if you will. So you don't necessarily have to be born a Mandalorian, which is really cool concept. Very cool concept. If you guys didn't know, Boba Fett was not actually a Mandalorian. He just happened to have he just has the armor. We don't know why. I'd hope in the future we find out why, though. As the story continues, past 4, 5, and 6, which I don't want to say they're like filler episodes. They're important episodes. In some ways they kind of do continue on the main story in certain aspects, but we also get to see, new things from the Mandalorian, new sides of himself. The directing has been on point. Actually, speaking of, let's go ahead and check that out. So, Chapter 1, written by Jon Favreau, excuse me, directed by Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni, if you don't know, has done a lot of stuff. I want to say, like Clone Wars, Rebels, and so on. He's got a long story he's telling. If you know Ahsoka, what is her name? Ahsoka Tano? I could be wrong with that. Ahsoka Tano. I'm just starting to watch Clone Wars right now, so I know I should have been watching this already. It's a really good show. Dave Filoni's done those, so he's got a long story he wants to tell, and he's weaving in some of his old stories from there to here. So very cool, very impressive. Chapter 2, they talk about the child. I already went over that. Jon Favreau had written, let's see, Jon Favreau's written so far almost everything but 6. 5 was Dave Filoni, which that was actually really cool because there's like the Gunslinger. It was very, very awesome. We got to see a few special actors come in and play some cool people. One of them, if I'm not mistaken, is Mai from, or the girl that plays Mulan, plays this. I don't know if she's a bounty hunter or what, I forget, but they had a bounty on her head. So she actually get to see the or Mai from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you know that one. She plays a character in that. So as far as directing, Dave Filoni episode 1, Rick Famuyiwa, Famuyiwa, just gotta take a second, just say it. Deborah Chow did an amazing job with 3. 3 was fantastic. And you get to see all the Mandalorians come and save Mando while he's trying to protect a baby Yoda. Then Bryce Dallas Howard did 4. If you know who that is, it's Ron Howard's daughter. She did the okay job. I'm not really a big fan of episode 4 all too much. It was a real weird departure and offered in things, like I've said, that really just didn't make sense to me. The relationship and so on. Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, that was Dave Filoni. I think he did a good job with that. Offered us some new stuff that I think will come back in the future. And it'll be great. Chapter 6, The Prisoner, Rick Famuyiwa did a good job. This is actually a little different story by Christopher Yost, and also Rick as well. I think that was the most interesting one out of all of them. It was such a departure. Deborah Chow did Chapter 7. Jon Favreau had written this one as well. And 8. So 7 and 8, Jon Favreau had written them. And Taika Waititi did the direction on this one. And also, I think he started it, I believe, as one of the stormtroopers or maybe the scouts. These two are easily some of the best. Really fun stuff happens. And it's very shocking, the kind of stuff that happens. So, in previous episodes, we find that IG-11 was reprogrammed by the guy that Mando meets earlier on in the series. I do apologize. I'm very sick still. So Still trying to get over this cold. Long story short, you know, IG-11 plays a big role. Actually has a character arc in this series that was so wonderful. Very almost kind of reminiscent sometimes, just in the way he acts because he's a robot. Of what's his name, Baymax from. Yeah, I think that's kind of a good way to explain it, just because of how stiff and robotic he could be. But he's got a side to him that's very human. It's very fascinating because he gets reprogrammed to be I don't know, what did he call it? A nanny android or a babysitter android or nurse android, something like that. Basically, take care of Baby Yoda. So that was his big thing there. And he actually, at the very end, spoilers, gives his life up to protect all of them. Because they're actually, at the very end, they mostly got away from the Imperials through this underground tunnel that leads to this like lava lake thing, where they get into this raft and a R2-D2 like robot is there, but then he emerges from the hard lava stone, like the cool down lava stone that he was trapped in. He emerges from it. He's like really freaking tall. He's got legs and arms. He's like basically rowing this thing down the lava lake or stream or whatever you want to call it. But at the very end, there's like a tunnel that leads them outside, and the Imperials are waiting for them. So the robot says there's no other way to save you guys or save all of us. So I'm going to go out there, self-destruct, and protect you all. He does that. They had this, moment where it's like, don't do that. Also in this episode, I want to mention that this robot was able to get Mando to actually take his helmet off. So if you want to see what the Mandalorian looks like, if you don't already know who the actor is, which you can just Google search that, but if you want to see what that scene was like, it was a little weird and jarring because they just like kind of left him, and the robot, IG-11 had to take off his helmet. Mando was very hesitant at first because it's like, no living thing's ever seen me take this off, and if I take it off, then I can never put it back on. And the robot was like, I'm no living thing, so you're good. And he sprayed him with some Bacta, which helped his injury, which looked like he was going to die from it. He was actually bleeding, got a head injury. Because he was shot in the back of the head by Grand Moff Gideon. I think that's how it's pronounced. And Grand Moff Gideon is basically the big boss of this whole series. So after the robot, later on we're going back to the lake, lava lake. After the robot self-destructs, then the crew thinks, okay, we're good. But then out of nowhere, a TIE fighter comes out, and most of the stormtroopers, they're dead. But this is Grand Moff Gideon. And he comes out shooting at them, and all their weapons can't really reach him. Really cool scenes, man. Really fun stuff. Good special effects, good money put into this, you could tell. Because some of the other episodes, you didn't have, it didn't look like they put in a lot of money into some of the special effects. Sometimes I think about the episodes and I almost think I could almost do without 4, 5, and 6, or at the very least 5, 6. I could almost do without those. But they have to introduce the characters they have to introduce, so it's what it is. But anyway, Grand Moff Gideon, he's shooting at them. Mando, at this point, he's going to use this new jetpack he just got. He actually had just received it, I want to say, in this episode. I want to say he received it in episode 8. Because they go in the tunnels, and the tunnels are actually, they were used by the Mandalorians. So they actually had someone that creates their weapons and stuff, and actually created a jetpack, as well as giving him his signet to put on his armor, just to I don't know, I forgot exactly what it means, but it could be like a thing for like accomplishments. But anyway, he gets the jetpack, he finally puts it on. It's what we wanted to see from episode 3. I guess we wanted to see it from the first episode, even before that, because this is a really cool character, and he finally gets his wings, if you will. He puts it on, and he's waiting for Grand Moff to come by. And Grand Moff's coming by, starting to shoot, and he blasts up into the sky. and uses his gauntlet to fire out a line to grab hold of the TIE fighter, and it yanks him, which I would almost imagine that would rip your arm off if you're not careful. If you don't have anything protecting you, that thing pulling you like that, it's going to rip your arms off. But anyway, so it does that. He retracts it, pulling him towards the TIE fighter, gets on top of it, starts shooting, but Grand Moff kind of throws him off. Grand Moff throws him off. And he's able to attach a bomb. He jumps off and blows part of the ship up, and it goes down and crashes. After this point, all the heroes, they're all done, if you don't even call them heroes. They're done with this whole thing, and it's kind of funny. After this point, Mando and Baby Yoda are like, let's leave this place. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of this planet and continue their search. They're going to actually, it's explained that Baby Yoda, that no one really knows what his alien race is called or anything like that, but it is explained that the powers he have also were used by the Jedi. Mando didn't even know who the Jedi is, which I find that so weird that you don't know who the Jedi are. But anyway, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that is like a normal thing. I don't know, how many years have we not had Jedi for? How well known were they? Did they become a myth? Did their text and everything else get destroyed because of the Empire? I don't know. I have a lot of questions in regards to that, because the series didn't even know. Most people didn't even know about the Jedi. I find that very strange. But anyway, the very end is the most fascinating part of this episode. That's because of Dave Filoni. Now, if you guys know Clone Wars and you guys know Rebels and all that, you'll know about the I forgot the names. Black Saber. I think that's what it's called, the Dark Saber, something like that. It's like a black lightsaber sword. Kind of weird. You have to look at it, but they have that, and Moff Gideon, he cuts himself out of the TIE fighter with that dark saber. Matter of fact, it even shows you right here, the dark saber. And interestingly enough, these dark sabers were actually something that belonged to the Mandalorians. They used to have these, so anyone that has that probably took it from a Mandalorian way back when. So there's actually some history to that. This whole thing has been pretty cool, I gotta say. But in any case, let me give you my thoughts on it. Production value kind of went up and down, but for the most part, this whole series has been exceptional fun. I don't know if it's just I've been deprived of good Star Wars content for a while, and this is just mediocre. But I'm gonna be honest, it's cool. It's fantastic, and I recommend it to anyone. Would I say go out and grab a subscription for this for Disney Plus? Yeah, sure. We'll do it for a month or something. I don't know. That might actually work out better if you don't want to get Disney Plus for anything else. Get it for this at least. This will at least show by people watching this Disney that this is what people want and this is what people will watch across the board. This thing is getting rave reviews across the board. Not kidding you. I don't know if this is going to show any of it, but see, like right here, critical response for pretty much all the episodes. People have really liked it. In the future, we will have season 2 that has been confirmed. We don't know much more past that, but I will say definitely check a lot of this out. You guys will love it if you haven't seen it. If you binge it, man, you're going to be in for one heck of a fun ride. First 3 episodes are perfect. 4 was kind of and then it kind of sort of went downhill from there, but I think they're trying to introduce things for later seasons. And then 7 and 8, perfection. 6 was probably the most unique out of the bunch, and it gives you a good reason to like Mandalorian and trust sort of like in his skills. So yeah, guys, that's my review for the Mandalorian, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, like, share, comment, Let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get ready for this. Let's get ready for this giveaway from Final Fantasy VII. I hope you guys like that game. I know I'm going to. I'm definitely going to watch it. Play it. And if you can, give to my Patreon, subscribe star, or send some money my way via the Cash App. Actually got some money recently, and I really appreciate that from those that have done so, that donated to this channel. It's all going back into the channel as much as I possibly can, in the best ways that I can. I'd like to get like new tech on this and give you guys a much better show. So from me to you, thank you guys so much. I will see you on the next video. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.